Hello everyone, welcome to the Old Man and the Reed. My name is Jerry. I'm, as many of you, or most of you, or many of you know, I was going to shut down my channel, and I did my last video a few videos ago, but because of the response I'm continuing for a while. And the reason I was going to shut it down was I was attempting to just do videos about single authors, talk about all of the books I've read by any particular author. And I found that although I did remember a lot about most of their books, there were always a few that I couldn't remember exactly what they were about. And so I ended up having to reread those books. And to be honest, I was spending too much time rereading, and I wasn't able to read a lot of new books. And I'm 77, just about 78 now, and I don't have a lot of time left to read books, and so I would rather spend the time reading new books. So I've found that if I just talk about favorite books, I don't have to brush up nearly like I had to on the others. And a lot of the viewers have said that they enjoy seeing the variety of books and authors I'm presenting. So I think I'll probably just continue doing favorite books. I've decided to do 15 at a time. I was planning on 25, but I do my videos basically in one take, sometimes I'll pause it, but I don't have any editing skills, so I have to do them all in one take, or else re-record the whole thing. And so I'm going to only do 15 at a time, because that'll keep it a little bit shorter. With that, I'll go ahead and I'm going to pause this and get the books I'm going to talk about, and then I'll show you 15 of my favorite books. Okay, I'm back. And I should point out, I'm doing 15 books at a time, and they're just kind of randomly chosen. I've just been going through my bookshelves, picking out favorite books, and every time I do, I find more and more. So I've got like 200 books or so, over 200, just picked out, and I can keep going if I wanted to. But we'll see how long this lasts. I'll keep doing videos as long as there's interest, but I don't anticipate it'll be much longer. So anyway, with that, I'm going to start with doing my presentation, and the first book is Figures in the Landscape by Barry England. This is about two soldiers who escape from what appears to be a death march in an Asian country, unspecified Asian country, and it's about their just desperate struggle to survive as they face impossible odds, and about their trying to reach safety hundreds of miles away while they're being pursued the whole time. The next book is Pedro Paramo by Juan Rulfo, and this is basically a Mexican classic, and I guess it's why so many of the Latin American writers turn to magical realism because of this book. But this is the story of a dying mother who, on her deathbed, a dying wish, she asks her son to find the village of her birth, and to find his father, and to his father Pedro Paramo, and to make him pay for his abandonment of the family. And so this sets the son off on a really bizarre, bewildering journey where he ends up traveling to a land of the dead. The next book is That Night by Alice McDermott. This is a story that revolves around a night where a carload of teens drive up onto a lawn, which starts a brawl between the neighborhood men of the neighborhood and the carload of teens, the 3 carloads of teens. And then the story tells about what led up to this incident and then what follows. The next book is At the Sign of the Rene Pédicroix by Anatole France, one of my all-time favorite writers. But he does a lot of satires on religion, and this is one of his better ones. But it's about young Jacques, who at the age of 6 is put to work in his father's meat shop, turning a spit. This is a job that had been done by the dog, but the dog was too old now. And so young Jacques works from dawn to dusk, turning the spit, and they place a book on his lap to study as he's doing this. Then a traveling monk sees young Jacques and is very impressed with him, and so he decides to take Jacques on to tutor him, and this sets off a whole series of just really hilarious events. The next book is Glyph by Percival Everett, a very favorite author of mine. He wrote some great books, but this is about just an average couple who have a baby that turns out to be a genius. The baby can write very philosophical letters and read any book on any subject. And so the couple take the baby, to a doctor to be evaluated, and this sets off a whole series of kidnappings. The next book is a nonfiction, The First Americans by J.M. Adivasio. And this is about Adivasio. He discovers evidence of human occupation in a place called Meadowcroft Rock Shelter. And the remains date back farther than the Clovis people, who were considered the oldest Americans. This creates a very a backlash from the archaeology establishment, because they are steadfast in their belief that the Clovis were the earliest. And so Adivasio talks about that controversy, and then he also talks about many other discoveries in the Americas of older occupations. The next book is Quarantine by Jim Crace, a marvelous writer. I think he just really doesn't get the recognition that he really deserves. But this is the story of Jesus in his 40 days of seclusion in the wilderness, and it's uniquely told by Jim Crace in his very unique twist of the story. The next book is Collected Poems 1920 to 1954 by Eugenio Montiel. Just a really fabulous collection of poems. Next book is The Bridge of San Luis Rey by Thornton Wilder, a marvelous writer. This is a story that takes place in the 1700s, and it's about a bridge in Peru that collapses, that take 5 people and plunge them to their death. A Brother Juniper witnesses this event and wonders why God had chosen those 5 people to die in this way. And so he begins researching their lives to see if he can't determine why it was them. Next book is To Begin Where I Am by Czesław Miłosz, probably my favorite poet, and I've read almost all of his essays, and this is a marvelous collection of essays. He writes his essays almost in the same poetry he does his poems, but this is has a whole range of subject matter, but much of it is about his early childhood in Poland under first Nazi and then Soviet occupation, and he also discusses religion and poetry. Next book is The Book of Salt by Monique Trong. Really a great book. It's about a gay Vietnamese cook who goes to work for Gertrude Stein and her partner. The next is Adjust Your Life by Chung Rae Lee, and this follows a man, Franklin Hatta. He's Japanese but of Korean ancestry, and he immigrates to America after World War II. Although he's a bachelor, he decides to adopt a young Korean girl to raise as his own, but there's some very troubling aspects to his past. Next book is World's Fair by E.L. Doctorow. Really a great book. It's a story of a young boy's life growing up in New York City, and it's really based on Doctorow's own early years. Next book is really a strange book, but I really enjoyed it. It's Mauve Desert by Nicole Brossard, and it's beautifully written, but very strange. But it's broken into 3 parts. The first part is a story called Mauve Desert, and it's about a young 15-year-old girl who drives her mother's Meteor out into the desert. Then the second part follows Maud Lorez, who reads Mauve Desert and becomes obsessed with that story. And then the third part is where Maud then starts reinterpreting Mauve Desert. And the last book I have is Blood and Guile by William Hoffman. It's just really an excellent whodunit. It's about a hunting accident that then turns into a murder. And there's just lots of unforeseen twists in the story that make it a real page-turner. So those are 15 of some of my favorite books. And I want to thank you for watching the video, and hopefully if you enjoyed it, you'll watch some more. Thanks.